The dangerous truth is this: most people don't get misled by bad information. They get misled by confidence that never has to prove itself. I am Lady T, in for Citizen T. Here's the promise. By the end of this, you'll have a simple test. You can run on any financial claim, any shortcut, any guru, and keep yourself on a path that actually compounds. This is how we win. When someone promises wealth, freedom, or escape from the grind, pause. Open a browser. Google the long-term audited success rate of Grant Cardone program graduates, Ty Lopez course members, Dan Locke high-ticket sales students. Not testimonials, not screenshots, not highlight reels from a stage, audited outcomes at scale over time. Then open a second tab. Google the historical returns of the S&P 500, decades of public data. Boring, verified, relentless. One side sells urgency, one side publishes numbers. That contrast matters. Because systems that work for millions of ordinary people don't depend on a personality staying relevant. They don't collapse when attention moves on. They leave a paper trail and keep compounding quietly in the background. This is where ownership-based pay, OBP, comes into focus. OBP is the idea that your work should move you, even gradually, toward ownership instead of permanent dependency. Ownership aligns incentives with outcomes. When you own, time becomes leverage. When you don't, you're forced to chase intensity forever. Here's the core principle: you don't need to beat the system, you don't need a secret. You need exposure to productive assets and the discipline to stay there long enough for compounding to matter. I won't pretend constraints aren't real. You're busy. Capital is limited. Risk feels higher now than it used to. The system isn't fair, structural change is slow and uneven, all true. But agency still exists. You control whether you buy stories or structures, whether you confuse confidence with evidence, whether your effort disappears each year or leaves behind ownership. A quick disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. Use this as perspective, not instruction, and always do your own research. The next time someone sells certainty, run the challenge, Google outcomes. Compare them to boring ownership paths like the S&P 500. Choose the side that doesn't need applause to work. You don't need to be exceptional, you need to be positioned. If this brought clarity instead of hype, like the video, subscribe, and stay with Citizen T. We are Citizen T, forge the future. OBP is the way.